Good morning, student. Welcome here in your social science class. Today we will discuss class 8 history chapter number 4, tribal discourse and the vision of a golden age. Student, first we will talk about the one man named Birsa. Okay, and when in 1895. So in 1895, a man named Birsa was seen roaming the forest and the village of Chota Nagpur in Jharkhand. Okay, he was born in Munda tribe and suddenly started gaining popularity. Why? What was the reason behind it? So the tribal people thought that he had magical powers. Who had magical powers? Birsa. Birsa had magical power, so he could cure disease and multiply grain. लोग जो थे, जो ट्राइबल पीपल के लोग थे, वो ये मानते थे कि बिरसा के पास बेटा क्या है, मैजिकल पावर्स है, जिससे वो डिजीज को क्योर कर सकता है और ग्रेन्स को डबल कर सकता है. ओके, इवन बिरसा ऑल्सो himself declared that God had appointed him to save his people from trouble, free them from the slavery of Dikus. Dikus means outsider. Okay, outsider जो stamp होते थे, just like Dikus were the people who made the tribal people dependent upon them, thereby causing them a lot of misery and suffering. So and Dikus were traders, moneylenders, missionaries, Hindu landlords, and the British also. Yes, British also were the outsider being referred to as a Dikus. So Birsa declared that he would safeguard tribals from the Dikus. Even you can say that other also. He was also became famous among other tribes also, just like Santhals and Orions. Which one? Yes, Santhals and Orion. So all of them in different ways were unhappy with the changes they were experiencing and the problem they were facing under British rule. Under whom rule? बहुत unhappy थे. किसके रूल के टाइम पे? सारे जो ट्राइबल्स थे. ओके, ब्रिटिश रूल. देयर फैमिली ways of life seemed to be disappearing. Their livelihood were under threat and their religion appeared to be in danger. So student, here we will talk about the what problem did Birsa set out to resolve. Okay, कि बिरसा ने क्या problem and क्या solution. Who were the outsider being referred to as Visman Dikus, and how did they enslave the people of the religion? What was happening to the tribe people under the British? How did their life change? There are some of the questions we will read about in this chapter. Look at here and this picture also. As you can see here, some women. Okay, women of the which tribe? Dongria Kanda. Which tribe? Yes, Dongria Kanda tribe in Odisha. Where? Yes, in Odisha. Okay, student. So, women of the Dongria Kanda tribe in Odisha wade through the river on the way to the market. Read about tribal societies last year. अगर हम बात करें, हमने लास्ट ईयर ट्राइबल सोसाइटीज की बात की थी. मोस्ट ट्राइब हैड कस्टम्स एंड रिचुअल्स. ओके, सो मोस्ट ट्राइब्स हैड कस्टम्स एंड रिचुअल्स दैट वर वेरी डिफरेंट फ्रॉम दोज laid down by Brahmins. These societies also did not have the sharp social divisions that were characteristic of caste societies. All those who belonged to the same tribe thought themselves as sharing common ties of kinship. However, this did not mean that there were no social and economic difference within tribe. So student, now all of you know about who were tribals. So tribals known as Adivasis. What? Yes, tribals known as Adivasis who were the original inhabitants of vast forest. Okay, so tribals known as Adivasis who were the original inhabitants of vast forest in western, then central, southern, eastern and northeastern part of the country. Now the student, we will talk about the how did tribal groups live, okay, or how the tribal groups lived. So by the 19th century, in which century? By the 19th century, tribal people in different parts of India were introduced in a variety of activities. So just look at their activities. The first one is jhum cultivators. Okay, some were included or some were in jhum cultivators. Then after this, some were hunters and gatherers. Okay, hunter and gatherers, and even animal herders also. Student, first we will talk about the jhum cultivators. Okay, regarding jhum cultivators, some of them practice jhum cultivation, that is shifting cultivation also. What the meaning? Yes, jhum cultivators, some of them practice jhum cultivation, so that is shifting cultivation. Now the here question come, what do you understand by shifting cultivation? So in this process, this was done on a small patches of land. Here as you can see in this picture also, this was done on small patches of land, mostly in forest, where mostly in forest the cultivators cut the tree tops. Okay, what the cultivators done? Yes, the cultivators cut the tree tops to allow sunlight. Which thing? Yes, allow sunlight to reach the ground and burn the vegetation on the land to clear it for cultivation. Got it? They spared the ash. As you can see here in this picture also, student, they spread the ash. Which thing they spread? They spread the ash from the firing which contain potash to fertilize the soil. They used the axe to cut trees and the hoe to scratch the soil in order to prepare it for cultivation. After this, they broadcast the seeds, that is scattered the seeds on the field instead of plucking the land and the sowing the seeds. Once the crop was ready and harvested, okay, they move to another field. Same process continue. Okay, a field that had been cultivated once was left fallow for several years. Yes, that field, जो फील्ड उन्होंने पहले वहाँ बर्न करके उसकी ऐश को जो स्प्रेड किया था ताकि जो फर्टिलिटी ऑफ सॉइल है वो इंक्रीज हो, तब उसके बाद वहाँ वो लैंड के आपके जो सीड्स एंड ऑल होते हैं उस लैंड में वो आपके उसमें जो उनकी क्रॉप होती है उस हिसाब से उसको सो करते हैं. आफ्टर दिस वट यस अ फील्ड दैट हैड बीन कल्टिवेटेड वंस वॉज लेफ्ट फैलोड फॉर सेवरल ईयर्स. फैलो मीन्स अ फील्ड लेफ्ट uncultivated. What do you understand by fallow? Yes, fallow means a field left uncultivated for a while so that the soil recovers fertility. उस फील्ड को जो है काफ़ी ईयर्स के लिए लेफ्ट कर दिया जाता है, जहाँ उन्होंने पहले ट्रीज़ को कट करके उसको फिर बर्न करके स्लैश एंड बर्न ऑल्सो. ओके, स्लैश एंड बर्न करके उसके बाद वहाँ उन्होंने अपना कल्टीवेशन एंड ऑन स्टार्ट किया. उसके बाद जब वो दूसरे लैंड पे चले जाते हैं तो वो पहले वाले लैंड को जो है काफ़ी ईयर्स तक लेफ्ट कर देते हैं. सो शिफ्टिंग कल्टीवेटर्स वर फाउंड इन द हिली एंड द फॉरेस्टेड ट्रैक्ट्स ऑन द नॉर्थ ईस्ट एंड सेंट्रल इंडिया. कहाँ मोस्टली ये आपका है? हिली एंड द फॉरेस्ट ट्रैक्ट्स on North East and Central Asia. The lives of these tribal people depend on free movement within forest and on being able to use the land and forest for growing their crops. That is one way they could practice shifting cultivation. Okay, now all of you get clear about the what is jhum or shifting cultivation and indigenous cultivation method in agriculture. Okay, farmers slash and burn. Which process? Yes, slash and burn a patch of land and start grow food crop. When soil fertility declines, they shift to another. ठीक है, जब उस सॉइल की उस लैंड की फर्टिलिटी जो है सॉइल की डिक्लाइन हो जाती है वो अगेन दूसरे लैंड पे शिफ्ट कर जाते हैं. ओके, एंड अनदर प्लेस बर्न जंगल अगेन. दिस प्रोसेस इज गोइंग अगेन एंड अगेन. After this, student, some were hunters and some were gatherers. Okay, hunter gatherers you can say that. So in many regions, tribe groups live by hunting animals and gathering forest produce. But काफ़ी जो रीजन थे, जो ट्राइबल ग्रुप्स थे, वो क्या थे? यस, लिव बाय हंटिंग एनिमल्स को हंट करते थे एंड गैदरिंग फॉरेस्ट प्रोड्यूस. दे सॉ फॉरेस्ट एज एसेंशियल फॉर सर्वाइवल. For this, Khons were such a community living in the forest of Odisha. Here as you can see, Khons of Odisha and Beks of Central Indian follow this practice. वो इस practice को follow करते थे. They regularly went out on collective hunt and then divided the meat among themselves. Okay, first of all, they used to hunt collectively. Then second thing, they gathered fruit and roots also. Okay, they ate fruits and roots collected from the forest and cooked food with the oil. Which oil, as you can see here in this picture, student, oil they extracted from the seeds of sal and mahua. Just look at this picture. So mahua, it is a flower that is eaten or used to make alcohol. Why? Yes, it is a flower. क्या है बेटा ये कि फ्लावर है जो ईट किया जाता है टू यू और बनाया जाता है इससे अल्कोहल. ओके, so after this they used many forest shrubs also and herb for medicinal purposes and sold forest produce in the local markets, the local weavers and leather workers also. Okay, which one? Yes, local weavers and leather workers turned to the corn when they needed supply of kusum and palash flower to color their clothes and leather. Just look at the picture also, palash flower picture. Here as you can see, okay, so the local weavers, what they used, okay, the local weavers and leather workers turned to the khons when they needed supply of visiting kusum and palash flowers to color their clothes and leather. So here with the help of this flow chart you can easily understand about some were hunters and some were gatherers. Just look at the first point. As you can see here, they used to hunt collectively, then after this gather fruits and roots, okay, then use shrubs for which thing? Yes, for medicinal purpose. Then sold forest produce in local market. Where they sold? Yes, they sold produce in local markets. Then local weaver also dependent on tribe for kusum flower which were used as a dye. Even you can say that tribal groups often needed to buy and sell in order to be able to get the goods that were not produced within the locality. Okay, then this led to their dependence on traders and money lenders. अब कई समटाइम्स उन्हें क्या होता था कि और जो ट्राइबल ग्रुप्स थे उनको बाय एंड सेल करने के लिए जो अदर गुड्स थे वो भी नीड होती थी जो उनको प्रोड्यूस नहीं होते थे उनकी लोकेलिटी एरिया में. तो इसके लिए उन्हें किस पे डिपेंड होना पड़ता था? ट्रेडर्स एंड मनी लैंडर्स पे. Traders came around with things for sale and sold the good at high prices. Traders जो थे उन goods को बहुत ही ज़्यादा high prices पे sold करते थे. Then money lenders gave loan. Even money lenders also. Money lenders gave loan. Loan to whom? Loan to tribal groups with which the tribal met their cash needs. Okay. So tribal groups also need cash. So from where they got the cash? From the money lenders. So that's why money lenders gave loan to whom? To the tribal groups. Okay, and adding to what they earned. But the interest charged on the loan was usually very high. Okay, जो इंटरेस्ट होता था उस लोन का जो मनी लेंडर देते थे ट्राइबल ग्रुप्स को उसका जो इंटरेस्ट का लोन का जो इंटरेस्ट होता था वो ऑलरेडी बहुत ज़्यादा हाई होता था. सो फॉर द ट्राइबल्स मार्केट एंड कॉमन्स often meant debt and poverty. इस वजह से उनको काफ़ी नुकसान होता था और इस वजह से वो पॉवर्टी की तरफ जा रहे थे, गरीबी की तरफ. They therefore came to see the money lender and trader as evil outsiders and the cause of their misery. After this student, some herded animals also. Okay, even many tribal groups live by herding and rearing animals. Yes, they lived by herding which thing? Yes, by herding and rearing animals. They were pastoralists who moved with their herds of cattle or sheep according to the season. Which thing? Yes, cattle or sheep according to the season. When the grass is one place was exhausted, they moved to another area. Then after this one place was exhausted, they moved to another area, the Van Gujars of the Punjab hills. Now here as you can see, first we will talk about the Van Gujar and where of the Punjab hills and the Labadis of Andhra Pradesh where Andhra Pradesh were cattle herders. Okay, one Gujars, and from where? Yes, of the Punjab hills, and the second one Labadis from where? Of Andhra Pradesh. They were cattle herders. Then after this, the Gadis of Kullu. Here the Gadis of Kullu and Bakkarwals also. Bakkarwals from where? Bakkarwals of Kashmir. Okay, they reared goats. Got it? One Gujar and Labadis. What about cattle herders and Gadis and Bakkarwal from which one? Yes, Kullu. And what about Kashmir? Okay, they were which one? Yes, goats. You will read more about them in our next history book also. So just look at this map also, student. This map also. So just here look at the location of some tribal groups in India. Here one Gujars, then Bhotia also, then look at here Saharia, then Bhil, then one Gujar, Rathawa, then Begs, Banjara Gods, then Banjara here as you can see, Begs, Maria Gonds, then Koya, Banjara Gonds, then Mela Urular, then Santhal, Munda, Orient here as you can see. Okay, Chota Nagpur, okay, in Jharkhand, then Naga also you can hear, then Khasi, then Riang. So these are the location of some tribal groups where in India. Some took to settle cultivation. Okay, even before the 19th century, even before the 19th century, many from within the tribal groups had begun settling down and cultivating their field in one place year after year, instead of moving from place to place. Okay, now what? They began to use the plough and gradually got rights over the land they lived on. Find this. So the land for the Mundas of Chota Nagpur. Which one? Yes, the land for the Mundas tribe, as you all know that, belong to the which one? Clan as a whole. They begin to use the plough and gradually got rights over the land they lived on. In many cases, just like all of you got it about the Mundas of Chota Nagpur, the land belonged to the clan and as a whole. All members of the clan were regarded as which one? Yes, descendants of the original settlers. Okay, then who had first cleared the land. Therefore, all of them had rights on the land. Very often some people within the clan acquired more power than others. Some became chiefs and other followers. Got it? Some became which thing? Yes, some became chiefs and other became followers. Then powerful men often rented out their land instead of cultivating it themselves. Even British officials also. If you talk about the British officials that time, okay, British officials saw settled tribal groups as more civilized than hunter-gatherers or shifting cultivators. Okay, simple सी बात है बेटा. Just like British officials ने देखा कि they saw what the British officials saw settled tribal groups like the Gondas, then Santhals, and more civilized than hunter-gatherers or shifting cultivators. Those who lived in the forest were considered to be wild and savage. They needed to be settled and civilized. So student, for today, that's it. Thank you all of you. Have a nice day ahead.